We welcome you to Cambridge, Massachusetts. We are underway with the 2024 CWPA Championships. It is the 6th-seeded St. Francis Red Flash against the 3-seed, the Harvard Crimson. More on the teams and their journeys here as we get through the first couple of possessions. It is the Crimson with the first try, shot towards cage from Aaron Kim, stopped by Izzy Lumley in the net for the Red Flash. With Austin Ringheim, head coach at MIT on the men's side, I'm Drew Casey. Appreciate you joining us. Austin, what are you looking forward to in this opening game?
Yeah, I mean, so we're in the championship season now, so you'll see a lot of inspired athletes in the pool. It should be a really high-octane game. Again, looking at kind of how the Crimson are attacking, very similar to what they've done throughout the season, really trying to get the 4-5 side or that right side of the pool working and see if they can attack north-south on the left.
Got an exclusion opportunity, advantage coming for Harvard. 6-on-5, no-look shot will go from Ruby Hodge, who keeps it inside the bar on the near side, and it's 1-0 Harvard.
Yeah, talking to Coach Minnis throughout the season, if they can get the combination on that right side between Hodge and Kim going, they're definitely a dangerous team. So definitely good to see it in a hot start to the championships tournament.
Good opportunity early on. Harvard cashing in 12-12 on the regular season, 5-5 in conference play. Right at 500 in both of those categories. 3-seed winning the last time out, which was this past Friday for Harvard, taking down the the Brown Bears, who we will see coming up next in a big-time rivalry game between those two schools. Now the first offensive possession for St. Francis. Whitecaps working from right to left, 8-24 overall, 1-9 in the league. The lob into center, nearly it's tapped in, but a fantastic save by Alexis Kiekefer. Going to Sam Eshelman, the freshman setter who wasn't necessarily going to be the starter, but some injuries, and welcome to the starting lineup as a freshman at the center position in the CWPA. And an offensive called against St. Francis. Harvard wants to go. Aaron Kim across to the far side. There we have whistles, and it's going to quickly get back to St. Francis. It is a 1-0 Harvard lead. It has not been put up on the board just yet, but it is 1-0 Harvard here at Blodgett Pool. An opportunity off the near post, and a deflected shot from M. Zuch. And it stays in front of Alexis Kiekefer.
Yeah, that was a good effort by Kim. Again, not giving up in that transition. They were down. St. Francis had an opportunity 3-on-2 coming the other way, but Kim was able to get there, look at the arm, and knock it free.
Ruby Hodge, one of a couple of all-conference players on this Harvard team, scored the first goal, and that one knocked away and taken by St. Francis, looking to counter from right to left. A couple of big-time wins for Harvard over St. Francis earlier this year, 16-5 in March, 19-5 about 3 weeks ago. But both of those matchups were played in neutral pools at Princeton and Bucknell, respectively, a part of CWPA crossover weekends. And taken away, the Harvard defense tough to get through. Just underway here, the CWPA first round. Winner will meet Michigan coming up tomorrow in one of the semifinals. That lands on top of the cage. That is on top. No goal for Maya O'D, the CWPA Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, she's had a huge impact for the Crimson over the last couple months, and again, she's definitely continuing to help change that culture, continue to progress and move forward that they've been working on.
First-year player from Long Beach, recently scoring a hat trick against Princeton in the team's second meeting with the Tigers. We will see the Princeton Tigers and the Michigan Wolverines tomorrow, the 1 and 2 seeds, Princeton and Michigan respectively. Princeton unbeaten and the favorite in this postseason, looking to repeat. St. Francis gets an advantage, 6-on-5. Kayla Rhodes running the point and looking for an opportunity. The clock is not running here as the game continues, but the clock is not moving. Now it's moving again. St. Francis going to work. The lob pass over for an alley, and the shot will be buried. It's a good goal for St. Francis, leveling up the score. Off the left side, the offense able to strike.
Yeah, the Red Flash showed some really good patience there. Again, they got set up in that balanced power play opportunity attack, moving the ball quickly, trying to get these Crimson defenders to commit one way or another. They were able to get that defender to commit towards the middle of the pool, and then just opening up Olay for her to just get one big fake and put it right past Kiefer.
Ball is going to come out of the pool here. Remember, the clock was paused there. I noticed it for a few seconds. You may have seen it on your screen as well, as it's built into our graphics at 5:12, and that was on an exclusion. I don't know if it got to a full 20 seconds, but they might be looking at the clock here and perhaps had an opportunity for some correctable errors. I think Ted Minnis might have noticed it as well, or someone on the Harvard staff. Ted Minnis chatting with our lead official, who is Joe Pila for the tournament and for this game. And Joe Pila and Easton Honecker arbitrating this game.
Yeah, it seemed to be stationary first, or not moving, I guess, for probably a good 5 to 8 seconds. So I imagine Coach Minnis is kind of talking about maybe the Crimson would have been even a little bit earlier and potentially not given up that shot. So like you said, Drew, it is a correctable error. Depending on if they deem it or recognize that the shot clock was not working, they might bring it back to the power play opportunity and give them a couple seconds, depending on what they decide here.
So it'll be Harvard possession starting mid-pool, so it does appear that the goal will stand. Perhaps they will adjust the clock, maybe down 7-8 seconds. Does not appear they will do that either. Okay, away we go. We're tied at 1 as the 6-on-5 goal comes from Kayla Olay, the sophomore from Redondo Beach. Levels this one up at 1. So Harvard back to the attack, left to right in the 6-on-6. Harvard looking if they want to celebrate here at home this weekend, as the skipper is wide from the goal scorer, Ruby Hodge. They're going to look to take advantage of 6-on-5 and 5-on-6 opportunities. St. Francis 1-9, started the year 1-18, but this team won in the opening round last year in the CWPA.
Yeah, there's a couple different segments to a season. Again, obviously playing as many difficult games as possible, especially early on, really kind of set the tone for how you want to develop throughout the end, and then ultimately get into this conference tournament, see if you can continue to play your best water polo at the end.
Shot clock dying, the long distance fire having to come from M. Zouk, the senior from Budapest, Hungary. Second team all CWPA, as it was announced earlier in the week. And Harvard will attack from a left to right direction with Hodge and Kim operating here. The host Harvard Crimson rising out of the water. The clean catch was Emma Gilbert. She's been honored by the league a number of times this season. Player of the Week, Rookie of the Week type honors. And this one stopped again by Izzy Lumley. Off to a good start, the junior goalkeeper.
Yeah, the Red Flash are doing a good job of almost funneling the ball. So you can see them bringing in that extra defender on the left side, kind of helping crash towards the isolation of Greenwald. So what they're doing there is just really trying to dictate, I guess, what opportunities the Crimson have to shoot or attack from.
St. Francis has not led in this game. If you're just joining us, we are tied at 1. Ruby Hodge opened the scoring. Kayla Olay on the 6-on-5 tied it. On the woman up for St. Francis. Strong defensive set as Kiefer and Harvard look to break from left to right. In rhythm for Maya O.D. Ice water in the veins, says Ted Minnis. That one is off the far post. Second chance nearly comes. Nice aggressive crash defensively. Looked like Megan Marlin helped funnel it back to Lumley. Now the other way, we've got a counter from right to left. It's Sam Eshelman looking, firing, scoring. It's 2-1 St. Francis here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it can change that quick. We've seen that a couple times already today where Crimson getting out into transition early, not necessarily being able to capitalize in that transition offensive opportunity. And what that does is if they do have that miss like they did right here, or that takeaway, that really leaves them open or susceptible to being down on the other side. So again, credit to the Red Flash for taking advantage of that power or that counter transition opportunity. And but again, you see the Crimson trying to find their rhythm, find their flow, really trying to isolate Greenwald or their center on the right side of the pool, see if they can attack, maybe create a power play opportunity coming from the left side.
Back to the offense now, trailing by 1 for Eshelman. 45th goal of the season. Olay, her 71st. Those are 2 and 3 leading goal scorers. You've got a whistle. Looks like inside of 2 meters there, and breaking for St. Francis.
Next, number 2, Annabelle Pacey, for being onside inside 2 meters.
opportunity here for St. Francis to take an early 2-goal lead. One of the only games this year where the Red Flash seem to be fully healthy, a full complement of players available for head coach Jay O'Neill. Great time for that to be the case.
Yeah, if there's any time to do it, now would be the day.
Crimson defense works it back, tries to go D to O, but the shot is high from Danny Zapata, the junior from Columbia. So some good looks. A couple that have missed the cage. One OD shot that hit the post. And a couple of saves from the junior goalkeeper Lumley, who is one of the best on the East Coast. Over 200 saves on the season. The team has played 32 games, St. Francis. 8-24 overall. An exclusion against Emma Gilbert. 6-on-5 for St. Francis.
Yeah, you can see Gilbert's left hand there on number 7, Garces' right arm. So as she was stepping out to the ball, there was that impediment, which is what resulted in the exclusion.
Looking for another power play goal. Cross from near to far. Georgia Ellison catches. Flag is up. Time has expired on the 6-on-5, and the ball pushed under defensively. And Harvard wants to go. Josie Mobley is out there for the Crimson. Dark Caps here as we approach a minute to go. First quarter, CWPA Championship time. Game number 1. We'll see 6 total games this weekend before champion is crowned on Sunday afternoon. Big time save by Lumley, denying Ella Prentice. Announced as the 3rd save of this opening quarter for Izzy Lumley. Very nice start for St. Francis. Again, an opportunity to take a 3-1 lead, the first 2-goal lead. And chatting with Jay O'Neill earlier this week and earlier today, last weekend, the St. Francis team played Salem, won 15-7. He was most impressed with the 7 allowed, the defense.
Yeah, we've talked to coaches time and time again throughout the season, and again, the goal here is to hold your opponent to 10 goals or less. Usually the offense gets clicking as you just continue to get deeper into the game. So defense is definitely stemming the offense.
Big moment here. We've got whistles. Did it go? Yes, it did. It snuck over the line from Danny Zapata. Lumley had got a piece of it, but it had enough to cross, and we are tied at 2.
Yeah, when you're a goalie in that situation, we do usually tell you to kind of protect that right post right there. Unfortunately, Lumley was able to just kind of get that hand a little bit higher up, and she just was able to get snuck right underneath the right arm.
26 seconds. The score is now tied at 2.
So Zapata's first of the game ties the score at 2 with 26 seconds to play in this first quarter. That'll turn the shot clock off. Zapata did have a goal and an assist in the second meeting of the season between these two teams. Again, that took place about 3 weeks ago. They play on this Friday afternoon into evening. We appreciate you joining us. Nice crowd in attendance for a 4 o'clock Friday game. Harvard faithful here. St. Francis, some Red Flash paraphernalia sprouted throughout Blodgett Pool. We expect to grow and grow throughout the weekend. Final seconds of this first quarter now, an exclusion. Out goes Berkman. St. Francis will fire the shot, and it goes just wide at the expiration of quarter number 1. So that will do it for the first 8 minutes. Harvard 2, St. Francis 2. Winner gets Michigan in the semifinals tomorrow. We'll be back for the second quarter. Right after this, it is the CWPA Championships on ESPN+.
Welcome to the community. We want to introduce ourselves to you.
We're a not-for-profit financial cooperative founded and operated by Harvard employees.
If you work or study at Harvard or any of the teaching hospitals, you and your family are eligible to join.
We've helped thousands in the community buy their first homes, pay off their student loans, and build strong credit.
Ask your friends and colleagues why they bank with HUEC.
And get to know us at huecu.org/hello.
love when families are able to come here and I can tell them they don't have to worry about paying for their care. They've got enough to worry about taking care of their sick child. Every single person that contributes is a part of that St. Jude family that makes that happen. Because of donors, we're giving families hope.
Ticket Smarter is proud to support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. $1 of every transaction will go directly to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit ticketsmarter.com to learn how you can help today.
Thanks for hanging with us here in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Friday afternoon, end of April, as we get closer to a conference champion, a national champion. Both of these teams hope to be in both those conversations. They would need to win 3 straight to do that. We're through 1 quarter of this first round game. 3rd seed Harvard, 6th seed St. Francis, and we are tied at 2 in a defensive battle, Austin. And if you're St. Francis, I think you have to like the way those first 8 minutes went.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, they're trying to continue to settle in. They're doing a good job of isolating Olay and some of these other, weapons that they have on the offensive side of things, especially on that left side of the pool. A little bit of a different kind of, tactic versus Harvard, where the Crimson are really trying to get out into transition. Both teams are really emphasizing the defensive components. Both goalies have played extremely well this first quarter, so really curious to see how both teams come out in the second quarter and continue to jump over it. So, but again, if you're the Red Flash, you have to be really pleased with how that first quarter is going. They're doing a good job of trying to slow down the tempo of the game. The Crimson like to play really fast in transition, so credit to them for almost helping dictate kind of how the style or how the pace of play is going so far.
In the final seconds of the first quarter, Harvard was excluded out. 6-on-5 advantage for St. Francis. Only about 6 or so seconds left when it was called. And St. Francis did opt to take a shot. And we were talking during the break, likely because Harvard appears to have the advantage in sprints, and if Harvard were to win this sprint anyway, they would have never even gotten a shot off. So they gave it a shot there at the end of the first.
Exactly. Still just trying to find the open player and see if they can get a quick one going off. So, yeah, we'll see here.
So here is the sprint. This is going to be tight. Harvard, though, is going to get it. Aaron Kim typically is the sprinter for this Harvard team, but that was OD, who's continued to develop in a number of ways, and adding that too. Kim setting up on this traditional side, the right on the offensive attack, so that would make sense for the second quarter. Tied at 2. Winner gets Michigan. Field blocked away from straight on off Hodges' shot. And Olay with active hands. Good feed though. Second chance is buried by Harvard. And the Crimson take a 3-2 lead early in the second quarter. Sasha Constance, the senior from Irvine, California, to take another look. Wide open there.
Yeah, that was a great job by Hodge retaining possession there, and then just a great awareness from Kim to know that Constance is open on the other side here. Quick steal coming out of the backcourt.
This is when Harvard is at its best, and you have to think Ted Bittis, the head coach of the Crimson, all over it. We want to steal, we want to turn it into some offense on the other end. That one is off the crossbar, though. Just kept out as Harvard was looking to go back-to-back with Constance. There is no tomorrow. The loser will play a consolation game, but their hopes for a championship will be out of the water, if you will. And they'll leave it all out there as Katie Greenwald. Actually, Ruby Hodge got the hand up there to block that one away.
We've had some great shot blocks so far from both teams. And again, the goal here is just kind of funnel to the goalie, really not allowing the offensive player to see very much of the goal. And credit to the defenders. They're doing a great job.
6-on-5 coming for Harvard, something the Crimson want to be very, very successful at this weekend. If they can get it over 60-65%, Ted Minnis likes this team's chances to be jumping in the water Sunday afternoon in celebration. A few seconds remaining on the advantage for Harvard. From left to right, the skipper stopped. Picked out by Lumley.
It's saved and controlled by Isabel Lumley on the change of possession. St. Francis is back to full strength, and with the ball have called a full team timeout.
St. Francis is going to take a timeout here with 6:14 left to go in the second. These nearly first 2 minutes of the second period, Austin, have looked a little different. Harvard trying to do more of maybe what its identity is, and St. Francis down just one. Jay O'Neill wanting to slow that momentum and maybe get back to the way the first quarter was looking.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw Hodge crash down there to see if she might be able to steal the ball from Limley. And so Coach O'Neill doing a good job of calling the timeout, retaining possession, which was the objective there. And then again, if they can close it back, or I guess tie it back up going into this second quarter, I mean, that's definitely the objective here. So again, these plays or these situations that they're going to experience right in front of us, they've pretty much gone over since middle to early January. So it's not a whole lot of new information. It's really just about continuing to refocus the athletes and continuing to, I guess, relay what the objective is going to be over the next couple minutes.
He is Austin Ringheim, the head coach of the men's side at MIT. I am Drew Casey. Thanks so much for hanging with us on ESPN+. We'll have the whole weekend for you. 2 games today. Coming up next, we will see Bucknell in action. They are here at the moment, the Bison are. Take on Brown. Do not see Felix Mercado's Bears in the house at the moment. Probably getting prepared.
Must be some traffic on 95, Drew.
Well, they actually said they were going to come up yesterday and stay in the area to avoid anything like that. So they've got their routine. So we'll see them later. And we also know that tomorrow we'll see Princeton and Michigan. Both of those squads making their way by bus and plane, respectively, at the moment to the greater Boston area. So a full weekend today, 4 and 6 Eastern. Tomorrow, 12 and 2 for the semis. 4 o'clock we'll have the 5th place game. And then on Sunday, 10 a.m. the 3rd place game, 12 noon, winner take all. And with it, the CWPA's automatic qualification to the 2024 Women's Water Polo National Championship Tournament. Okay, so St. Francis, the timeout. Now set it up. They get the start at mid-pool. Nearly a full shot clock. It's down to 16 seconds now. Attacking from right to left. Double team as Olay trying to have it enter to her, but Erin Kim crashes and steals. Also Josie Mobley holding position and Katie Greenwald. It'll be tough for St. Francis to get it into center. Harvard looking for a 2-goal advantage, maybe trying to get a 5-meter call there. Mobley out of the water, but could not control it on the arching back to catch. And St. Francis controls the loose one.
Pass intended in the center for Josie Mobley, was stolen away.
The lower the score, probably more of an advantage to St. Francis.
Absolutely, especially seeing the previous 2 meetups here. Yeah, if they're able to continue to hold the Crimson to 10 goals or less, I think Coach O'Neill is confident that his team can continue to stay in the game.
Yeah, you have to think that if Harvard can get to a dozen or more, 12 or more, probably going to win more often than not. Harvard looking for the 4-2 lead. Another takeaway. St. Francis could not get a shot off. Maya O.D. again announced earlier this week, the Conference Rookie of the Year. One of 3 major awards announced this postseason. The other 2 going to Princeton Tigers, both coach and player of the year. Shot blocked away. O.D. fired at the shot clock expiration. That does, though, reset the shot clock.
Yeah, you can hear Coach Minnis tell him to settle in.
Great stick-to-itiveness by O.D. Fired the shot with about a second left, blocked right back to her, and it is now 4-2.
Got a wholesale change here for the Crimson. All 6 women are going to be out, and the new 6 will be in. So, again, Coach Minnis knowing that they are trying to play fast and quick in transition, so doing a good job of keeping everybody rested and ready to go in and continue to attack and separate this lead.
Big stretch here for St. Francis. Middle part of the game, especially second and third quarters, where the Crimson pulled away in the first couple of meetings of the season. Harvard actually had 11-3 at halftime in the first meeting, so essentially put it away before the second half started. And a good opportunity there, but rings off the crossbar. Heffelfinger feeding ahead at 2 meters, nearly left behind. Britt adjusts and can't get it to go, but possession continues.
The short side shot taken by Lily Britt is retrieved by Harvard. New shot clock.
Let's reset the shot clock as we roll under 4 minutes to go until halftime here. Into set, double comes, even a triple, Was it pushed under? Zapata, no. We're even strength remaining. Skipper, good movement by Lumley to make the save.
Yeah, that's about all you can do right there. Lumley was already all locked in on the right side of the pool, and as that ball swung, she pretty much had to just get to wherever she could on that side of the goal, and credit to her for getting her hands there.
It's been very quiet for M. Zuch, the senior from Hungary, who has scored 75 goals this year, has 105 points. Harvard player has been excluded out. It is Zapata.
Two hands down, holding in the center.
Ole doing a great job of showing that hold. Again, she's trying to continue to maintain her position and advantage.
And there is Zuch, who is able to pay it off for St. Francis to make it 4-3. So that's a pair of 6-on-5 goals for St. Francis. And this one was pretty. Back to a one-goal game. Still waiting on our first multi-goal scorer. 7 total goals, 7 different players. Harvard has the lead 4-3 if you're just joining us. Harvard has the dark caps on for this one. Attacking with it here from left to right. As we watch it, Blodgett Pool here with you. The look inside by Gilbert. Now the extra pass, lefty shot. Partially deflected before it got to Cage. Ethelfinger who fired it. St. Francis can tie again here. Less than 3 minutes to go until halftime. 3-ish possessions per team likely remaining until that 5-minute intermission. Kayla Rhodes, the tap on over. Now the lob from way downtown. Shot clock was at 5 seconds, and Megan Marlin opted to try and finesse one in. And an exclusion against St. Francis coming up the pool. Harvard does not take a timeout. 6-on-5 quickly. There is Heffelfinger. And the lefty sophomore scores to make it 5-3.
Those type of offensive sequences usually what allows teams to grab momentum. Again, big stop there, forcing that lob cross cage and just wide of the goal. And then again, big transition, exclusion drawn, and then just working that ball down. Again, staying nice and balanced, staying nice and patient, and being able to put it away where you can.
Kayla Rhodes going back to work, and heard me saying the call there just prior to the offense setting up. No-look shot is wide from Zuch. There was no timeout from Harvard, and certainly a great decision, but as a coach, it must be difficult to make that decision as we have a takeaway. You only have a second to observe the pool. How difficult is that, Austin?
Yeah, if that. You have to really kind of gauge where your athletes are in position-wise and kind of make that judgment call.
Very similar here. A quick exclusion advantage for St. Francis and buried by Sam Eshelman, the first multi-goal scorer of the game. And it is 5-4. Back to a one-goal game here late in the second.
Yeah, the Red Flash are doing a really good job of continuing to stay diligent, not getting too low when the Crimson go on to these 1 or 2 goal stretches. So again, just continuing to battle through it, keep the game close, and again, with about 2 possessions each for each team, and they really have an opportunity to continue to tie it leading into that third period.
Harvard looking to quickly retake that 2-goal advantage. Same unit staying on. It's the Heffelfinger line, if you will, based on what we've seen, and that's a pretty feed and a pretty finish from Emma Gilbert straight on. The first year makes it 6-4 Harvard.
You can see the Crimson really settling into that zone defense that the Red Flash are trying to run. They've kind of, I guess, switched it up a little bit in the sense of they traditionally isolate the center position towards the right side of the pool, or I guess the 4 or 5 side as we refer to it as, and really trying to attack and create a little bit more havoc on the left side of the pool. But recognizing what the defense is giving them, they're doing a much better job or a great job of recognizing, hey, like we can stay on the perimeter, continue to move the ball freely, continue to stay confident, almost feel like they're in a practice, right? They're at home, continue to be confident as they continue to shoot the ball, and you just see them really settling in the last probably 4 or 5 minutes of this second quarter.
Gilbert, the reigning conference rookie of the week, had a hat trick against Brown last Friday night, exactly a week ago. St. Francis down by 2, looking to quickly get it back to 1. They've done that twice in this quarter. moved it from 4-2 to 4-3, and then 5-3 to 5-4. Long distance, and Kiekefer can range and make the one-handed, left-handed stop.
You can see that the pace of the Crimson coming back into play, but it's also, you can tell that the Red Flash are recognizing that they are super fast in transition. So that right side of the pool was already back on defense before they even got that shot off.
Aaron Kim, a good lick. There was a piece from Lumley, a save, so it's going to stay with Harvard at a new shot clock. Could be the final offensive possession for Harvard here. Kim towards 2 meters, now dishes back for Ruby Hodge. Those two pitching and catching. Kim tries to go inside and stolen away. Good active defensive hands by M. Zuch, the senior, doing it on both ends. About 5 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock here. Francis can get it to 1. If they're too quick, though, a counter could make this a 3-goal game at the break. Bobble by Ellison, but gets it back. 8 to shoot. Back to George Ellison, well outside of 6 meters. Looking, has to fire, and gets it off of the crossbar and where the near post meet. That should just about do it for the quarter. Long distance fire from Hodge. It will get there, and the save made by Lumley. And we have reached halftime. Harvard 6, St. Francis 4, and Austin, back and forth we've gone. Got a tight game. St. Francis playing well. Harvard got the offense going late in that second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the Crimson, that really stemmed from the defensive side. You can see them kind of flying all over the defensive end of the pool, really in the lanes, kind of splitting, putting some external pressure on the Red Flash offensive players, really trying to stem their counterattack, play fast, play quick. And then again, from the Red Flash side, they're doing a good job of isolating Olay. Again, seems like that was kind of their game plan from the very beginning. And so they're doing a good job of almost putting 2 centers or 2 post-up players in front of the goal, really kind of trying to suck the Crimson defenders back into that position there, see if they might be able to get a couple quick outside opportunities.
After 1, it was tied at 2. Harvard outscores St. Francis 4-2 in the second. That all amounts to a 6-4 Crimson lead, the 3 seed over the 6 seed in our first opening round game of the 2024 CWPA Championships. We'll take a break. We'll come back third quarter straight ahead here on ESPN+.
These Bulldogs are the top dogs. Harvard, an overtime winner. Crimson into the round of 32. National NCAA Women's Rugby Championship in the Big Green of Dartmouth. That will do it. The Brown Bears and the Lions walk off. And Cornell will play a championship Sunday.
I think the shared commitment we all have is that we're here to decrease the stigma around mental health. We want to make it a more open conversation, whether it's talking about student-athlete mental health, coaches' mental health. We got one goal, we just got to work together to complete that.
I think the evolution of the conversation about mental health has become prominent year after year for the last decade, if not more. But I think we're finally at the tipping point where the conversation isn't just about how are we reactive to prevent worst case scenarios, but how are we managing everyday stressors and activities?
I have really loved today. I mean, just the conversations. I love talking about mental health, and so being able to dive deeper. I think the keynote was incredible, seeing what mental health in athletics looks like really at the highest level.
Mental health is the same thing as physical health, right? We all have it. You guys are all in the sports space. You wake up in the morning and you do a physical check. It might actually inform how you work out that day, how you approach your training. What would happen if we took the same approach to mental health?
This is my first mental health summit that I've been able to attend, and just recognizing the value of sharing those best practices. We all have very unique institutions, and so, I think it's very valuable to sit here and think, hey, that's really cool, jot that down. How can I adapt that for our institution? And it's also a really incredible moment to be able to just have a lot of school pride, a lot of league pride.
I've always thought mental health is very important. The stress and anxiety that student athletes have to go through to play their sport, to compete in their sport, like there's so much going on outside of that. And I think this mental health summit is like a really good step forward to decrease that stigma and to continue to give access and to continue to give thoughts.
I think mental health is something where, because we don't talk about it as often, I think coaches might not fully understand the grasp of what that feels like to an athlete.
If your team is not open about talking about mental health. You have to open the doors and you got to be like, guys, like, we're all in this together.
Dartmouth College has taken holistic student-athlete development incredibly seriously. I'm one of few athletic administrators with a sports psychology background, and then since my role has evolved in the last 5 years, I've been able to continue to support a team that is collectively building to enhance mental wellness, well-being, and performance of all of our student athletes. How do we make sure we're cultivating an environment? And this is where everyone in the room has an impact on the environment that occurs within your campus. And all of us need to be actively cultivating it.
I want the idea of mental health being stigmatized to be something so of the past that we can't even imagine not having this open conversation.
These Bulldogs are the top dogs. Auburn, an overtime winner. Princeton into the round of 32. And Cornell will play on Championship Monday.
Back here with you as we overlook balcony style from that camera shot at Blodgett Pool. Teams hopping back into the water. 6-4 in this opening round matchup. Winner against Michigan tomorrow at 12 noon in the semifinals. There you see the St. Francis bench. Let's talk about Jay O'Neill's group. You know, around the water polo community, you know, there might be some interesting wrinkles, and you noticed a couple, especially defensively for St. Francis late in that first half.
Yeah, he's definitely creative and gonna throw the kitchen sink at you, especially in a game like this. So you can see them really trying to bring that extra help defender from, I guess, essentially the left side of the pool, really trying to force the Crimson offensive players, mainly where they have their movement, playing 3-on-2 from an offensive side of things. So really trying to bring that extra help defender there, and what that's doing is almost making it feel like the center position is not open and really trying to have that crash come back. So really trying to force the shot from the farthest possible spot away from the pool, and seem to be working so far.
Kim over Zuch in the sprint, and now a 6-on-5 opportunity for Harvard, attacking right to left in the dark caps in the second half, and a 6-4 lead. Kim at 2, now to Hodge. Kim has some open space, looking to pass, now moving in, and will fire, and it ricochets off a couple of things. Also the head of Lumley, and it stayed out.
Yeah, you can see the red flash pressing out, essentially trying to challenge Kim to take that shot from the deep wing, especially as a right-handed athlete. That's one of the, I guess, lower percentage angles that the offensive player can have. So again, credit to the red flash for talking through this, practicing. I'm sure they've run that a bunch throughout the not only regular season, but this week in practice, and again, really forcing the one-on-one opportunity between Kim and Lumley.
First goal of this second half, highly critical, you would think, especially for St. Francis. And looks like it's going to be an advantage. Yes, it is. 6-on-5 opportunity. Timeout. St. Francis, 1:03 into this third quarter with 17 seconds remaining of the exclusion. And again, a strong start for St. Francis. Done a nice job here. Again, we make that point because the first two meetings between these teams this year, Harvard won 16-5 and 19-5.
Yeah, there was flashes, pun intended, there was flashes of the Crimson almost pulling away at points in the first half, particularly in midway through the second period when they went on those 1 or 2 goal runs. But again, I think that halftime break really played into the red flash advantage here, get them to kind of take a little bit of a breath or a little bit of a relaxation point, and then coming back and trying to grab some of that momentum. Again, really good job of getting a big stop on the defensive end, especially when you can get a power play defensive stop. That usually stems some momentum and continue to take it and run with it. So excited to see what they draw up here on their power play opportunity.
A St. Francis team that is playing arguably its best water polo of the season at the right time. When you look at the trends of the season, the team started 1-18. The overall record is now 8-24, and in the last, 13 games, St. Francis is 7-6. Of course, would also love to repeat what happened last year. St. Francis team that really stunned Brown, and actually Brown just walked into the pool deck here. They are going to get set for our next game. There's Harvard defensively. The defensive side of the pool for the Crimson, it's been exceptional. St. Francis has scored 4 times, but looking to keep it rolling. That is the identity of Ted Minnis' coach team.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done a great job of not only playing in their help or zone defense, but they're doing a good job of playing in lanes, being quick over their hips. They're able to cover a good amount of water in a small amount of time. So really doing a good job of putting some of that external pressure onto the red flash. So Really curious to see what their power, or their woman down defense looks like, and see where they want to funnel the ball from.
So Olay, Eshelman, and Zuch, the leading attacking players and leading goal scorers, all over 45 entering play today, and 2 over 70. 10 seconds left of the exclusion, out of the timeout, inside to set. Couldn't get much on it. Sarah Hartwell fired it, the sophomore, and it was stopped.
Yeah, you saw the Crimson recognizing that early. Both of their top 2 defenders did just immediately crash back to the post, recognizing that's somewhere that they want to attack through. So great recognition and big stop there.
Kim for OD, now OD looking to pass, going to center, might have a 5-meter coming, yes. Katie Greenwald going to work, second team all-conference player, wins the penalty, and will hand off to Emma Gilbert.
Something to note here, Drew, that was number 21, Sarah Hartwell. That is her 3rd exclusion of the game. So unfortunate she's not able to finish the rest of the game, but again, Greenwald did a good job of holding her space, holding that inside water position. Great recognition from the wing, putting the ball right where it needed to be, and drawing that penalty shot.
Harvard looking to convert, and it skips and gets a piece of Isabel Lumley and stays out after hitting the near post as well. Something else Ted Minnis mentioned to us earlier in the week, we need to convert our penalties. I want to be 100%. Unfortunately, that will not be the case this weekend.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time with any subset of athletes that we have. The power plays and the penalty shots is really the make or break or the difference in each game.
Lob from Emma Zuch, and it's essentially a 2-goal swing in less than 20 seconds. Back to a 1-goal game at 6-5.
Again, credit to the Red Flash. They've not given up. They've continued to chip away at it, staying diligent in what their game plan is. Putting that ball, that was a beautiful cross-cage bar in. Again, just putting it right out of reach.
Zuch is up to 77 goals on the season. We're seeing some excellent displays from all conference players. It was Greenwald for Harvard who drew what was the penalty that was later stopped, and Zuch just scored a couple of second-team all-conference players, those 2 names. Harvard looking to retake a 2-goal advantage. Still early on, second half. Appreciate you joining us here tonight. And this one will sneak in from Ella Schneider. Good passing sequence and a good finish. It's 7-5.
Again, the Crimson offensive players doing a good job of being a threat. You can tell that they're getting Lumley to commit by the way that her hands and her movement is happening across the goal. Just moving the ball a little bit quicker than she can possibly move and putting it just right out of reach.
7 goals for Harvard, 7 different goal scorers. Balanced offensive attack. Looking to get back to the CWPA Championship game. Harvard has been to that contest each of the last 2. And let's see here, we've got a late substitution that is going to be allowed, and St. Francis will make a pair of changes. Rhodes and Lucy Willis come on, replacing Gardress and Eshelman. Again, the Red Flash looking to get it back to 1. Harvard has had opportunities to push the lead to 3. We have not seen that aggressiveness. It will stay with St. Francis and the Whitecaps here. Winner to the semifinals tomorrow, and will meet the Michigan Wolverine. Shot is just high from Kayla Rhodes as the shot clock was winding down. Slight advantage for Harvard coming up the pool from right to left. Inside positioning, the lob, is it powered in with enough pace? Yes! It's in for Lucy Berkman. And that is 8 different goal scorers. And the first 3-goal lead for Harvard, 8-5.
Just showing that depth in the Crimson offensive opportunities or offensive weapons here. And that was a really difficult shot by Berkman, doing a good job of trying to improve her angle just a little bit once she saw that Lumley committed to the strong side opportunity. Just a little bit of a wrist flick lob over her head and back into that cross cage corner.
Critical stretch upcoming here. You could call it maybe danger zone for St. Francis if Harvard gets 1 or 2 more. And it's going to be a turnover. Harvard possession. See Willis called for the grab in tight, looking for positioning. Harvard has a slight edge, but hold on. Push off inside. I think they're going to get Heffelfinger this time.
Ball turns over to St. Francis.
Seen a good pace in counters here over the course of this game at various stretches, especially in the second quarter, a little bit so far in this third. Georgia Ellison passes off the mark, intended for Kayla Rhodes, and an unforced turnover, and that's going to be an exclusion. And I think a timeout is coming. Yes. Harvard will take a timeout, leading 8-5, and a 6-on-5 opportunity upcoming after Ted Minnis talks with his team.
And that was just great recognition from Prentice. Again, the ball was an errant pass and kind of in that 50-50 zone between two red flash offensive players. And Prentice did a good job recognizing that she can get there right when she needed to. And not only when she retained possession or gained it back, she did a good job of making that contact, putting that, putting Rhodes or that red flash defender on her back and almost just showing that impediment, which is what resulted into that exclusion in transition. So, again, seeing what the Red Flash have done the last handful of times when they were down in the power play, I assume they're going to do something similar, trying to press away, really dictate where the Crimson have the opportunity from, almost trying to create a one-on-one opportunity by the Crimson offensive player and Lemley. And if you're the Crimson, really just trying to continue to have your team settle back in, continue to move the ball cleanly, trying to move the ball quicker than the Red Flash can move, and ultimately just trying to find the highest percentage opportunity coming out of this timeout.
Critical possession. Also have the red flag up, so another St. Francis player has fouled out of this contest. And they just put it up on the board, actually, and that's going to be Kayla Rhodes. And that's a big piece. 38 points, 15 goals, 23 assists, and the team leader in blocks and steals.
Yeah, those are both two big components that they're going to be missing in the next 12 minutes or so of the game. But again, you've seen the Red Flash doing a good job of continuing to just find ways to continue to capitalize on both offensive and defensive opportunities here, keeping the game nice and close. Again, I think we've talked about it a couple times so far this afternoon, Drew. One of those earlier meetings, it was 11-3 at halftime, so for it to be 8-5 with midway through the third period, you have to be pretty happy with how your team's playing if you're Coach O'Neill and staff. So just continue to chip away at it, get a couple big stops, and see if you can continue to close the gap here.
This was a Harvard-called timeout to get things set up, and there are 19 of the 20 seconds of the exclusion to be used by Harvard here. And they go to work. OD, rather actually that's Hodge with Kim on the 4-5 side. Here's OD on the 1-2. Flipped on back, now Kim. And OD. Lefty, half full finger again. Lumley got a little bit of it and then got the friendly roll off the crossbar and out. Timeout St. Francis. And a Harvard exclusion at just the 30. St. Francis wants to set it up, and again, we could have another 2-goal swing essentially.
If you're the Red Flash, this is pretty much the exact position you want to be in at this point in the game. Again, big stop there defensively. The Crimson doing a good job of that post-to-post rotation. Again, recognizing that they have a right-handed athlete and a left-handed athlete there, so trying to find both strong side opportunities and a big stop. And again, a quick exclusion in transition, and just wanted to see the Red Flash settle in here and see if they can work through a post.
Good opportunity. It's off of a post from Sam Eshelman, but it stays with St. Francis. Limited time remaining of the advantage, but a fresh full shot clock. Still the advantage for now. Now the flag is up. Not back in practice just yet. And now essentially we are 6-on-6. Olay is blocked. Another reset shot clock. Olay looking inside, skips it. It came up high on Megan Marlin, and I think it hit her in her right cheek and never could control it.
It's a little jarring at times when the ball just comes right back at you. So.
Also had about 6 hands, the goalie hands. There was an octopus around you of Harvard players trying to get to it.
That's exactly right. Again, Crimson doing a good job of making that contact in transition. Great pass back out by Constance.
Goal here would really change the complexion. Up by 3, looking for 4. 6-on-5 for another 7 seconds. Near side skipper is in. Maya O.D. becomes the first Harvard multi-goal scorer, and the Conference Rookie of the Year makes it 9-5.
Yeah, and that really goes to Constance. She's occupying number 10, Georgia Ellison. And again, really trying to pull her out of position so then when OD does get the ball, she already knows, hey, this is my lane, this is where I'm going to catch and shoot and bury that thing like we saw.
Harvard power play goal, her second of the game, scored by number 9, Maya O.D. Time of the goal, 2:31.
4-goal advantage. St. Francis has been stuck on 5 since Zook made it 6-5 early on in this third quarter. So 3 consecutive goals scored by the Crimson. Second time they've scored 3 straight. They trailed 2-1. Crimson did, and then 3 in a row to lead 4-2. St. Francis with possession. Whitecaps pass a little bit too high for Ellison. Also very aggressive defense by Zapata. A lot of aggressive press defenses in this league. The turnaround, though, that'll counter that from Sam Eshelman. And Sam is up to a hat trick. That's 3 for the St. Francis center.
That's great patience from Eshelman. Again, you can see that the Crimson defenders were coming back to try to crash and get that ball out of her hand, but she stayed patient. She took 1 or 2 seconds to kind of regain her balance and her position and just was able to get an extremely strong shot just right over Kiefer's head.
Battling back within 3, now looking for that defense to come on back. Harvard has scored 3 in this quarter, and this one is pushed under, and St. Francis holds.
You see a little life back into them again. They're doing a good job of transition, and you see the Crimson going back to what they've done pretty much the entire season, really trying to attack north-south, see if they can create this offensive opportunities or create an exclusion, and credit to the Red Flash for doing a good job of recognizing those drives.
Ellison here, shot clock single digits at 8 seconds now. They go inside to center, and that's going to be an exclusion. Quick shot, quick goal. Here come the Red Flash. M. Zuch makes it 9-7 back-to-back for St. Francis.
Yeah, I mean, that starts with Olay. She did a great job of holding her water, maintaining that space, and really allowing her teammates to see, hey, this is where her opportunity is, putting that ball in perfectly where she needed to get that Crimson defender on her back, which is what resulted in the power play opportunity. And then again, making sure that the Red Flash don't force anything, but they know that they are running out of time. So they did a good job of pushing the tempo, continuing to move the ball around, putting the ball where it needs to be.
So it's been a very, very nice response from St. Francis. And you look at the bracket before the week starts and you say, okay, got a lot of tight games here. If there's one that might be a large margin, it could be this one. St. Francis said, no, that's not going to be the case. Playing well, they know what they did last year in this game. They beat Brown in the opening round and really shocked the Bears. This would really be a stunner in Harvard's pool. Crimson still lead by 2, no need to panic. Shot clock is at 5, it's off the crossbar. The home cages not being kind to the home team. Sense the momentum.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what you want to look for in this championship segment, particularly in the conference tournament here. The regular season and kind of the preseason is all just building up to a weekend like this. So really trying to get everything kind of flushed through and settled in. And again, Red Flash trying to play their best water polo at the end of the season, which I know is always the objective.
Georgia Ellison fires from straight on, just high, no touch from Kike for there. Heady play there, it sailed wide. Harvard can take a 3-goal lead, about a 3-second differential shot and game clock in this third quarter. Into set, lots of traffic, look out! It caught Lumley on the left shoulder and bounced over, she never saw it.
Yeah, she's smiling at the bench like, hey, we got away with that one. But credit to her for being able to move and get high enough up to where she can defend it or deflect it with her left shoulder.
That was Berkman who fired the shot. Kenny Greenwald just came on, so really go maybe double post. It goes inside, stolen away, and St. Francis is going to swim towards the corner. Lumley does have 2 goals this year and 10 shots. She can get it there. Let's see. She flew it over everything, and that's why she has 2.
It got there all right.
Certainly did, and you can certainly see how she has scored not once but twice this year from the goalkeeper position. So Harvard led by as many as 4 in this third quarter, but St. Francis scores the final 2. We've got a 2-goal game, same place we were after 3 quarters. Harvard up 2. We go to the fourth quarter in our opening game of the 2024 CWPA Championships.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed at Ticketsmarter.com.
Getting set for the fourth quarter in this opening round game. Both of these teams hoping to win 3 consecutive days to claim the 2024 CWPA Championship. They'll have to get through this fourth quarter. Harvard +2 on St. Francis. And with Austin Ringheim, the coach, curious, these huddles here, slightly different conversations perhaps, but this is essentially your season on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, with 8 minutes to play, it's pretty much leave everything out there. You're not guaranteed tomorrow, even though you might be playing. But again, your goal is to always try to get into a semifinal or a conference final game. So really just trying to continue to step on the gas. If you're the Crimson, you've seen stretches of throughout this game where you've seen them take it and run with it. But again, if you're the Red Flash, continuing to slow it down, continuing to force the Crimson to play your pace or your style of water polo. Again, Crimson trying to get horizontal, get out into transition, move quickly. Could be a little bit of that first conference game jitters, especially being in your home pool. Excited getting to play in front of your friends and family. But again, no shortage of high percentage opportunities. It's just about getting able to take that extra half a second, maybe taking a breath and putting the thing away. But again, for the Red Flash, they've done a great job of battling that adversity, finding times where they have grabbed that momentum, and again, seeing if they can continue to overcome it and put this thing away.
Harvard has won each of the 3 sprints. Looks like it's going to be 4 for 4, yes. And Harvard will start with possession from right to left. Remember, the Red Flash doing this without 2 of their starters. Kayla Rhodes fouling out and Sarah Hartwell fouling out as well. 9-7. Winner will play Michigan tomorrow in the first semifinal at 12 noon Eastern time. Heidi Heffelfinger rising and firing and scoring for the Harvard Crimson.
Anytime you can start with that extra possession in a quarter and especially capitalize on it like we just saw, really just continue to grab that momentum back and, again, giving your team a boost of energy and see if you can finish and close the game out strong.
St. Francis has been able to answer and certainly remain in this game and remain within big-time striking distance. At a certain point, the time might become the enemy. Plenty of it now. First possession of the fourth quarter, now down by 3. This is Eshelman, who has a hat trick. Now inside, lot of traffic, almost powered in by Addie Gargis. But Kiekefer got fingertips and help from the post. Nice pass ahead from the Harvard cage. Heffelfinger scored last time. This time drops it back for Schneider. Back to Heffelfinger. Tried to go similar spot. Saved. Second chance. Powered in. Emma Gilbert, one of the best rookies in the conference, puts Harvard back up by 4.
Yeah, that was a really good second effort there. And again, even though she was maybe a half a meter in front of the goal, she did a good job of staying patient. You can see her kind of take that extra hitch there, waiting to see what the defense is going to do, and just bearing it right past Lumley.
Well, this is the second time Harvard has led by 4. The 2 goals coming in the first 70 seconds of this fourth quarter. So this is a critical possession for St. Francis, and without a score, the next defensive possession would become huge. 10 seconds to shoot. It's already the most goals St. Francis has scored in one game against Harvard this year. The lob, a little too much on it, and it landed off the back stanchion of the cage and bounced back into play.
Yeah, they're not in force-it territory yet. That's the red flash. They still have an opportunity to settle in, continuing to focus on high percentage opportunities, but probably in about a minute or two, it will be about pushing the tempo a little bit more, see if they can get a couple quick goals here and maximize the amount of possessions that they have left in this fourth quarter.
Well, Alexis Kikefer just delivered that pass in rhythm to Maya O'D at about 3 meters, who fired and skipped it just wide. Now, if Kikefer didn't have a game today, she might have been one of the 37 quarterbacks picked last night in the first round of the NFL draft. And keeps that one out, now in her goalkeeper position, and Harvard will get it again.
You can see the advantage here on the left side of the pool for the Crimson.
Reversing it now. Again, off of the crossbar, Maya O'D. It's rattled a bunch here. These new cages, new academic year for Harvard. Coming up next, it will be Brown and Bucknell. That is scheduled for 6 o'clock Eastern time. We'll have that for you on ESPN Plus as well. Every game this weekend. St. Francis possession here. 5 minutes approaching that mark. Just 2 to shoot here. Something has to go. It did get off from Addie Gargis, but there was no touch from the Harvard goalkeeper, Kikefer.
Alexis Kikefer quickly with the long right side outlet for Ella Schneider.
No reason to try and run clock yet for Harvard. Still a lot of time on the clock. Would love another goal. Tapped in. How about that? Ruby Hodge scores. And Harvard, for the first time, leads by 5 and just 5:02 to play.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's great awareness from number 7, Ella Snyder. Again, recognizing that there's a 2-on-1 opportunity with one red flash defender in between both Hodge and Snyder, and she continued to attack and improve her angle, and as that defender continued to commit to her, recognizing that Hodge still had her advantage or still had that inside water, and put it right where it needed to be for a redirect goal.
So now almost in the must-score situation for St. Francis. Maybe you are in it. Ellison looking over, firing. It's off the crossbar. Ricocheting back out. How about that dolphin-like move by Heidi Effelfinger to secure that one off the crossbar?
And you can see the Crimson, again, up in transition. You can just see might be the endurance or the stamina or ultimately just you saw Coach Minnis sub early and often in the first half, and so really just them continuing to find their rhythm and flow and taking full advantage of it.
Exclusion against St. Francis, and again, remember, the 2 starters for the Red Flash out late second, early third quarter, and that may be catching up to St. Francis a bit too, shortening the rotation even more. Goal here would ice it. OD on the power play gives off. Field blocked out by Ellison.
The shot from the wing by Ella Schneider is blocked out of play. The block made by George Ellison on the change of possession. St. Francis returns to full strength. Isabel Lumley with the ball in the cage.
Lumley overlooking and fires after 15 seconds of the shot clock, all the way up in between 5 and 6 meters, that is. Lucy Willis is out there, cap nearly falling off with the strings loose. Shots off the crossbar from Zuch and out. The rebound, though. Second chance opportunity powered in. And Sam Eshelman, it's 12-8.
I mean, that's been a pretty consistent theme throughout the first 3.5 quarters, where even though the Red Flash are in a situation where they are down, they've continued to battle all the way through. They haven't given up. They haven't really necessarily rolled over, for the lack of a better word. They've continued to just chip away, continue to stay confident, continue to stay together as a team, and again, just continue to try to score and capitalize when they can.
Yeah, certainly does not look like a 1-9 team in the conference or a team that was outscored 35-10 by Harvard this regular season.
And even more impressive with 2 of your starters out. Again, I believe it was number 21, Hartwell, who was out early. So for them to be able to continue to battle with maybe a little bit some of their experience and leadership on the bench, it's credit to them.
Essentially 5-on-5 here. St. Francis cherry picking a bit. A defender does go back, meaning a Harvard player to defend. 5-on-5 offense for Harvard. It's again off the crossbar. That is at least 5 shots, likely more. Lily Britt this time couldn't get it to go. Under 3 minutes to go. Pretty much must territory unless you are able to get some unlikely steals. Probably have at minimum, maybe only 3 possessions, probably minimum 4. Down 4. Shot clock at 7. The common whistle there. Marlin's pass inside the turnaround, and desperation is high from Olay.
Yeah, if you're the Crimson, the message is just continue to slow it down. Again, you obviously want to continue to score and find that flow to lead you into tomorrow's semifinal game. But really, for the Red Flash, you want to try to take advantage of these opportunities. So you're really going to try to continue to attack quick, early and often, and see if you can get a couple quick ones.
Katie Greenwald draws an exclusion at center. Clear call, not a 5-meter. 6-on-5 attack for Harvard, up by 4. Looking for the exclamation point. Strong fourth quarter. Harvard has outscored St. Francis 3-1. Just waiting on it. The exclusion time about to expire. Now the flag is up. Another bar. This time off the near post and kept out. Facey couldn't get it to go.
St. Francis had already returned to full strength. Isabel Lumley with the mid-pool.
Take away just half of the crossbars and posts Harvard has hit. Harvard has at least 16 goals.
We're just going to say they're getting them out of the way for tomorrow.
And if you win, that's all that matters this time of the year. And it appears that Harvard will be able to do that in a low-stress situation in the final 90 seconds.
Yeah, again, you can see Kiekefer just maintaining possession, continue to control the ball, control the pace. No need to necessarily even score, but really just trying to minimize the amount of opportunities that the Red Flash have on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a rematch of one of last year's semifinals. Harvard against Michigan. That shot did not get off. Good action on that. It didn't go over the line, but it's not going to count. Too late. Last year, it was a thriller. Princeton hosted 9-8. Harvard over Michigan in the semifinals. And that's what's coming tomorrow at noon. We'll get a penalty shot here. 5-meter on the way, drawn by Olay. Zapata guilty.
Who has the ball and clear access to the goal inside 5 meters. Per second. Time of the penalty shot 102.
Olay's been a workhorse in there for the Red Flash. Again, she's constantly in the post, moving, trying to gain position, see how she can best help her team to be successful here. And again, regardless of the score, awesome to see a penalty shot at the end.
It's going to be Zuch, skips and scores, going near posts. Kiekefer going far. So that'll move the score to 12-9. But just 1 minute, exactly 60 seconds to play in this one, and a 3-goal margin.
Score now, Crimson 12, Red Flash 9.
Yeah, you can see the Crimson really just spreading out, not necessarily even advancing the ball into the front court here. I wouldn't be surprised if Kiekefer continued to hold the ball until a Red Flash defender attacked her or made some sort of movement, but really just running out the clock, giving the Red Flash about 30 seconds left and not really giving them an opportunity to close this thing to 2.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the play here. Shot clock is down to 3 seconds, 33 on the game clock. Kiekefer's going to fire a shot. Why not? And got it just short of the cage, and a timeout comes with exactly 30 seconds to play. It will be St. Francis possession. And St. Francis final timeout here in this opening round game. Down by 3. Coming up next, it will be Brown against Bucknell, and that's an interesting one. It's from both perspectives. Bucknell knocked off Harvard recently. It's been a tough season for the Bison. Brown team that the only thing Felix Mercado would say, last year it did not go our way in the first round. We are only thinking about Friday, nothing else.
Yeah, no, I mean, they have a little bit of a redemption game coming up here. Again, trying to continue to advance into a semifinal. And Bucknell coming off a couple big wins. And trying to gain some of that momentum, right? I think Coach McBride was with our U.S. men's national team early in the season, so having Coach McBride back in and probably a little bit more confidence within the program settling in, and it should be really exciting to watch.
And we saw Bucknell very early in the year when Coach McBride was out in Doha. And day one of the season wasn't necessarily what the Bison were looking for, but day two, there was a massive turnaround. You could see the potential of a young team.
Absolutely.
And we'll see them coming up next against Brown. Both of those teams are on the pool deck stretching and ready to go. I think they were hoping there wasn't a timeout because they're ready to get in the water. St. Francis is going to draw something up here. Maybe they'll go 7-on-6. Let's see.
You might be onto something, Drew. You can see Lumley advancing all the way to half, and wouldn't surprise me if she just continued to push all the way into the front court. They're not completely out of it. Crazier things have happened, but again, I think for them it's really just about finishing this last possession with an opportunity to find some momentum going into tomorrow's game.
Wheel breaking out. That's what I like to call the Harlem Globetrotters of water polo when you see a set like that out of a timeout. Find everybody. 15 seconds to go, pushed under, but I think it's going to be an exclusion. Yes, Zapata excluded out, not a ball under.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of an excited move. She didn't necessarily take the lane directly to the ball. She went over the red flash offensive player, and unfortunately we can't do that in our sport.
Saved here by Kike for 2 saves in the first half. Would put her at approximately 6 for the game. Lumley's going to be in double figures, had 6 in the first half. Strong game. We'll see the red flash again tomorrow. Final seconds, and it was a good look, but it just could not be connected with by Eshelman. And that will bring us to the conclusion of the first game this weekend. And moving on, the Harvard Crimson to the semifinals. A 12-9 winner over St. Francis. It will be Harvard and Michigan in the semis tomorrow. Well, Austin, an impressive effort. This game was tight for 26, 28 minutes. Harvard with 3 straight goals in the fourth quarter, led by 5. St. Francis the last 2, but you have to like the way you grinded it out. If you're Harvard, tight game. You stuck to your identity defensively, and you get to play another game tomorrow.
Yeah, if you're the Crimson, you'd almost prefer a game like this. Obviously, you would always want the margin to be a little bit wider, but really trying to have this battle early and ultimately setting yourself up for a really competitive semifinal game. So for them to have to see some of that adversity, really kind of continue to find their rhythm and settle in, it's really a positive thing that the Crimson were able to pull it off in this kind of fashion, because I think it really sets them up for another big potential run tomorrow.
You see and perhaps hear some of the Harvard crowd clapping for the Crimson side. You know, and there should be applause for St. Francis, too. This team played very well. They will play in the 5th place game tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time. We'll have that for you as well. But you know, a lot tighter than it was the first couple meetings against Harvard.
Absolutely, and again, it's always hard to beat a team 3 times, and so you saw the red flash trying to really put that to the test here and close it out. But again, ultimately the message is trying to play your best water polo at the end of the year. So for them to keep the margin within 3, I would say that's obviously not necessarily a win on the scorebook, but I definitely would say that's a win in terms of your progression throughout the year and the way that you're closing out the final weekend.
So that's going to do it for our coverage of this opening game. A variety of goal scorers for Harvard. Maya O'D, Heidi Heffelfinger, and Emma Gilbert each had 2. 4 goals each for Sam Eshelman and Em Zuch in the loss for St. Francis. And once again, Harvard advances to play Michigan tomorrow at 12 noon. St. Francis will play at 4 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow against the loser of our next game. And that next game is scheduled to begin at 6 o'clock Eastern time, approximately 45 minutes from now. Austin and I will have that for you. It is Brown, the 4 seed, against Bucknell, the 5 seed. For Austin Rinkheim, the rest of our fantastic team, I'm Drew Casey saying so long for now from Blodgett Pool in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where the final score, Harvard 12, St. Francis 9 in the CWPA first round. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app, and this has been a presentation of ESPN.